Be yourself. Be yourself.
Wow. I had no idea she was going to do that right after the countdown stopped, guys. That was so sweet.
Do you remember what movie that is?
No.
It's the mom sings it in our favorite movie that we used to love in high school called Just Friends.
My
Be
God.
yourself.
Oh, yeah.
I'm wearing
You
like a
always
sweater.
remember the littlest, like smallest bits of movies. I feel like you cling on to like things that I don't even notice. But
Yes,
now
but
I
if you were
remember.
to ask me like the main quote of the movie, I would have no idea that it was from that movie.
Except for DJ, which who else would quote that from that movie, honestly?
No one.
Anna Faris and that.
Too
Love
good.
her.
Great winter movie. Just Friends.
Forgiveness is more than saying sorry.
Sorry. So
Let's
good.
have make-up sex
Till
until
the end of time. Cut!
Oh, that was Feel My Love. Cut. Which jokester changed the on me? Something like that. I forgot about that.
So good. So good.
Anyways, that's not why we're here today, guys. But however, our episode is very nostalgic, so maybe it does kind of go in hand.
Yes, we are recording this. It is January. We are in the depths. We are in the depths of dry January right now. How's it going for you, Lex?
Yeah, depths as in a couple of weeks in. Yeah, it's actually a little harder this year than it was last year. I'm going to be real.
100% same.
I was so ready for it. And then after a week of not drinking, I think then I was like, you know what? I could really go for some whiskey.
Yeah, just like a social cocktail. I think like with football being on, that's something that has been different too. It's like when for the Bears-Packer game, like all I want to do is have a beverage. I guess we're recording early, so I don't want to say anything timely, but
Yeah. I haven't tapped into my Curious Elixir until tonight. I was saving them because I love them so much. But I am drinking a Curious Elixir, so that is helping. I forgot how good these are.
What flavor do you have today?
I have the spicy stormy pineapple margarita.
Ooh,
It's
do you like it?
refreshing. I love it.
Are you a spicy marg girl in general?
No, not really. I mean, I'm not really a margarita girl. I love tequila, but margaritas are generally they're a little too sweet for me. I don't like super sweet drinks.
Same. I'm not a margarita person. I have had a couple spicy margaritas, but I like the first couple sips and then I feel like I'm making myself finish the rest of it
Yeah,
every
I think
time.
the spice helps cut some of that sweetness, but it's still entirely too much for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like really like those booze forward drinks, and that's what's terrible.
You like the taste of the slap.
Yeah, like my old fashions are whiskey with just like bitters added to it. It's no watered down, like it's not the Wisconsin old fashioned, and I'm not saying that as bragging. I think I have a problem. Which is why we're doing dry January, but damn, we got some time to go.
Yeah, I completely agree. This year feels really different than last year. Last year, this was like a fun new challenge. And now this year, it's like 50, it's been like 50 degrees. And it's like you kind of just have that mood where it's a little bit lighter later, not too much, but it's just a different vibe. And you know what? We'll get through it. But it is definitely a lot harder this year than last year.
Yeah, it didn't fully hit me until I made reservations for Emily Martin's birthday dinner that is now this Friday at Brazen. And I was like, oh my God, I have to go to Brazen to get a mocktail. I love their Almago. Their mezcal drink is one of my favorites. So that will be a little hard, but I can do it. And that's part of it.
Yes.
Part of
And
it is knowing you can do it.
I keep telling myself that too, like this part of getting through it without choosing to have a drink is what it's here for, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
are we okay? Are we good? Do we have a
don't
problem?
know. Hey, you guys, can you tell us if our episodes so far this year have been better or worse without us drinking booze? I like to think I'm super fun, but
Anyways, well, welcome back to Wait, You're Mad, the podcast where we turned our weekly phone call into millennial group therapy. I'm Maddie.
And I'm Lexie, and this episode is all about millennial technology. Not just what we used, but how much patience and problem solving it really required. Before everything was instant, synced, smart, and optimized, technology made us wait, pay attention, plan ahead, and sometimes completely start over.
At the time, oddly, none of it felt inconvenient. It just felt normal. And looking back, it explains a lot about our attention spans, our anxiety, and our current adaptability.
Today's episode is a conversation about millennial tech, how it worked, what it evolved into, and what it taught us, intentionally or not intentionally.
But
First, will you start this week, Maddie? What are you mad about this week?
so mine goes pretty well into the subject of the day. I'm mad that everything requires downloading an app. For example, when I go to a conference, I need an app just to know where I'm supposed to be. A parking place downtown requires an app. If I go to a concert or show, I need to download an app for the tickets. I've even been to an Airbnb that the key to get into the apartment is an app.
Yes, that is a very rational, relatable mad, actually. And the amount of apps that are on my phone that I could delete and just don't have the time to go through and do it is insane.
That's my other piece, is talking about the fact that they never leave your phone. They take up memory. They want notifications. They update without asking, and you literally use them one time.
And we know, Maddie, your iPhone 4 or whatever you have has very limited space on it. So it has to be extra frustrating for you.
It's like a 10. So on top of that, it's even more extremely inconvenient for me. And basically by making us download these things, it is assuming that our phone battery, our storage, and our mental space is all completely unlimited. And it's not.
And it's not.
Yeah.
Got too many tabs open in this brain right now as we speak.
Yeah. What brought it up is I'm going to a conference, and the whole schedule's on an app, and it's still actually sitting there from last year, but then I have to re-download it, re-put all the info in it. And the time it takes to do that for me is like excruciating.
Oh my gosh. And how annoying too when you're like, oh, I do have this app, but it needs another update.
Yes, exactly. This app I didn't want in the first place.
This app I didn't want that's still chilling in my phone somehow, and it needs more space.
Or in my case, the app that you have to delete that you actually use in order to update this one that you're going to use once.
That's sad.
Yes. But I digress on the app sitch. I don't see it changing anytime soon.
Right.
But I do say I miss the old paper. I miss paper. I miss schedules being printed. I'm happy for the environment. I'm happy for trees, but it's gone too far.
Yeah.
What are you mad about this week?
This week, I'm mad about diarrhea.
Ooh, tell me more, please.
And I'm talking the word, not the experience.
Okay, thanks for clarifying.
It's just one of those words that I've spelt wrong my entire life. And at this point, I refuse to learn. Too many vowels, no pattern. Like, it doesn't even sound like it's spelled. Diarrhea. Okay. Diarrhea.
So can you spell it for us quickly? Do you have it handy?
I do. I have it here right now. It's DIARRHEA. Diarrhea.
That came out of nowhere. That H came out of nowhere.
And so, basically, every time I type it, I think it looks fake. I second guess myself. I usually did get it wrong. I spell it, delete it, retype it, and still think, this can't be right.
Hold on.
It's a very stupid thing to be bad at, and yet it continues to humble me. Diarrhea. And I've actually had it on my list of mads to bring up for a while now. That's how much it actually makes me mad.
Lexie, how much are you spelling the word diarrhea that this is a problem?
It's just a thing. And also, my dog gets diarrhea a lot.
True. So you're texting the homies, telling them about your dog.
Yeah, my dog's got diarrhea again.
That's your dog. Your dog.
And I worry about the diarrhea. So my dog has to get on probiotics every once in a while just to, settle things. He's got a sensitive tummy, okay? But I
At least
mean, diarrhea gets thrown around quite a bit. I remember JC made up a joke as a toddler. Like she could barely talk, Maddie. And she comes up to me, she goes, "Guess what?" And I go, "What?" And she goes, "Diarrhea just means you got slippery poop," and walks away.
good one, Jace. But I'm going to go back to your first thing. Are we actually talking about your dog in this situation?
Sometimes it happens to, people in my life or like that live my life, and it's a
Kind of
word
are
that's
similar
thrown
to you.
around here and there and spelt from time to time, especially through text and things. So,
I'm going to think about this a lot more often because I work in recruiting. And so we have a lot of people that call into our office and our front office person takes the messages for the voicemails. There's a lot of diarrhea happening. And that's the reason why people are calling into work. I'm a little skeptical on it, not going to lie. But when we send out the messages, it's so funny because you know that it took a lot to spell that word. So
oh yeah.
mad props.
It should be like, did we just like, do we say it fast so it sounds like diarrhea, or should it really be diarrhea? Diarrhea.
Oh, so that's the phonetic way to say it so that you make sure you spell it correctly going forward. I love it.
In my
Diarrhea.
head, yes. But also, Maddie, everyone knows diarrhea is the number one excuse for not coming to work because you can't argue it. Like, what? You want me to show you the toilet bowl? Or
Yes,
also, you don't want
please.
to be around me if I have diarrhea. You don't know what gave me diarrhea. You don't want that bug. It is
Come
the
on.
number one excuse.
Come on in. Come on in.
Come on in, make me shit.
I'll give you your privacy.
You got some Abercrombie Fierce to spray in the bathroom there when you're done.
Yeah, a little poopery ain't covering that stuff up though, I don't think.
I actually found, hot take, don't use air freshener to cover up diarrhea. Use dry shampoo.
Oh, tell me more.
Well, I actually scrolled across a video where someone said that you should use dry shampoo to cover up the smell of like marijuana. And they explained it as like the smell in the air. It's like an oil, and dry shampoo is designed to absorb the oils, so fully get rid
Mm.
of the smell. And I'm not saying diarrhea is an oil scent in the air, but I am saying that someone tested it and it works.
Oh, wow. I'm sure that person
Instead of
highly recommends
mixing
it.
with the smell, it like seems to absorb it more. You know what I mean? So it doesn't smell like spiced apples and shit. It just smells like your hair product, which usually smells really good.
Wow. I'm glad you have a scientific friend who tests these things out for you.
Oh my God. I can't believe I just talked about diarrhea for so long.
Well, you'll have that. Relatable.
Not gross, relatable, right?
Right. Right.
Okay, so basically, this entire episode is a game. Yay, fun.
I wouldn't say it's a game necessarily, but we are going to talk about millennial tech. I say quote unquote tech because you would not call these things tech at this point.
Yeah,
These are artifacts in a museum.
loose term.
So for each piece of tech, we're deciding, do we miss it, or was the new version actually an upgrade?
Got it.
Got it. Okay.
So it's a game, and those were the rules, is what I'm hearing.
We just talk about each item and say, was this an upgrade or do we miss it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you guys play
Okay.
along too because it's a game. I'm just kidding.
Always a game.
All right. So let's start with navigation and getting lost.
First up, MapQuest printouts.
Okay. For anyone that wasn't around for MapQuest printouts, you would not even believe it that we did this while we were driving. So basically, you'd have to print out 6 to 12 pages of directions, staple them together, and pray you didn't miss a step. And the steps could be so crazy, like turn left at Arby's.
Yes,
They
or
would some
start
were
going
so
left
easy.
around a curve, or when it was dark out.
Yeah, seriously. I don't know, man. I specifically remember my mom printing me out MapQuest directions to go somewhere when I was probably about 17, and I missed a step, and I had to, like, retrace my steps to
Yeah.
go back and find where I went wrong, and it was almost an adventure.
Okay, so I was actually telling you this the other day of my experience with MapQuest printouts. When I lived in Chicago, I would have to, number one, I was driving a stick. So let's add that into the mix. I was driving a stick shift in the dark with MapQuest directions printed out.
And
No
I've seen
wonder
you
I
drive
missed.
a stick. I've seen that in action. So, yeah, keep going.
So basically, say I was going to a movie and then my friend Eddie's house. I would have to get directions from my mom's house to the movie theater, then the movie theater to Eddie's house, and then Eddie's house to my mom's house to make the whole round of trips, which is
That's what I'm saying.
insane.
Yes, it is. And
It's ins
somehow I miss it.
I do too, and I am seeing that, what it helped us learn how to do is look at signs, be able to understand highways, what goes east to west versus what goes north to south. I don't think this next generation who didn't have to deal with that understands how that works. And so we could survive without any GPS now because of that.
Yeah. No, it did teach us a lesson. Like, you learned a lesson when you were using MapQuest, one way or
Mhm.
another. Although it was wildly dangerous, just like casually trying to read while you're driving,
Mhm.
it was just like you were exploring, you were going on an adventure.
Yeah, I would say I don't know. I would say I don't miss this, but I would say what I miss more is the next one.
I
The
was opposite.
the actual piece of equipment, GPS that you would purchase for like $200, have a weird little stand in your car, and it like would swivel on a little ball, the
Yeah,
little GPS
like a
screen.
ball valve.
The actual like first run of the GPS, because at least then you could kind of get somewhere without a computer being near you. So if you did get lost, you had a better chance of finding your way home, I think.
We're talking basically the Garmin era. Garmin was like the most well-known version of this GPS. When I think of Garmin, I think of recalculating route.
That lady's voice who would say that constantly because it had no idea where the hell you were, even if you were right on track.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
See, that one was harder for me to trust for some reason, probably because it was wrong a lot. It didn't update like our phones did when there was construction or anything like that. It was always a little bit behind. And for that reason, I picked Upgrade because our phones are just so much better. Why go with something mediocre?
True. Yes.
But I personally wasn't traveling enough to justify getting a Garmin either, I will say that. But I definitely remember getting into someone's car and thinking, "Ooh, they fancy if they had one of them, like, suctioned to their windshield," you know?
Yes, like that was at the brink of technological brilliance at the time. Like
Mhm.
they had enough money to purchase one, they had the audacity to purchase one. They were cutting edge.
My parents had, like, a cheap version, it wasn't a Garmin. They were always just, like, trying, but not quite there, you know?
Yes.
And I remember my dad getting pretty pissed off at it quite frequently. They actually called it the bitch because they said she was super bossy, and she was, like, wrong sometimes too.
That is so funny. Good times, good times. And
Good
again,
time.
obviously, we have it so easy now,
Yeah.
but I agree with you. I miss like the serendipity of not really knowing where you're going. For instance, I went on a whole road trip in like 2007 with a group of friends, and we drove to Kansas and then Colorado. And on the way there, what we did, we didn't have smartphones. So we went from gas station to gas station, and we would pull up the atlas in the gas station, read where we needed to go next. And we were too cheap to buy the damn atlas even. And then go to the next gas station near where we knew where to go, look at the next atlas marker, and then keep moving. Who could do that? Name a Gen
Wow.
Z, okay? Name a Gen Z
No.
who could do that.
And, that's what I was gonna say about MapQuest too, like, I vividly also remember thinking when I was lost with my MapQuest that thank God I'm not in a hurry, but we were at an age during that time where we were never in a hurry. We never had anywhere to be. So if we were actual adults with MapQuest, I'm sure it would be a for sure upgrade.
Yeah, it sure makes you think about the pace of life at that time, though, in general, for people our age at the time, or even people older than us. There was just less rush.
For sure.
Why does this theme keep coming back up?
Make me young again. Take me back.
Okay, next up, we have a section of photos and memories.
Yes, we got there and now we need to document it. Disposable cameras.
Everyone knows how a disposable camera works,
Do
right?
you guys know how a disposable camera works? You had a limited amount of photos you could take. Do you guys know what that's like? I'm talking to you, Gen Z. Do you know what that's like?
Every photo was sacred. That number would tick down.
Mhm. There was no takebacks, no
Mm-mm.
retakes.
We couldn't even
You
see what they looked like.
Yeah, you'd have to wait a week to find out if your thumb was in the way of every fucking photo or if any turned out.
And it was definitely in the way of at least half.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Or the flash messed something up.
You were lucky if you got 3 good photos out of one
Yeah.
24 count disposable camera.
That's the truth. And yet, I miss this so much.
Me too. I would say on the nostalgia list, this is like top.
Top tier. Yes, I agree. I
Mhm.
just feel like it forced us to be super present and in the moment. We were documenting memories. However, we're not immediately reviewing them and retaking photos every time just so everyone approved of it. You had to wait and see what the outcome was. You took the photo and you moved on with your life.
Yep. And I think that's why how I have some of my best memories from those days is just quirky little real photos, not posed, not edited. They're perfect. It's like you're in the moment that you were in at the time.
Yeah. And then there's also something so exciting about having to wait for the photos to be developed before seeing them, like true
Yeah,
anticipation. I feel like 90s kids learned patience purely because of disposable cameras.
I agree.
And then the photo books that came from them too. I mean, you had these tangible photos. What do you do with them next? Obviously, you put them in an album. We just don't have that anymore unless someone loves crafts, which
hmm
is
I
not as common.
I had tons of those albums, just those single photo little albums
Mhm.
that would sit on your little dresser and have beautiful photos of all of your friends, shitty, weird photos, but
Yeah.
they're fun.
And Maddie, do you remember the excitement of getting a whole stack of photos back and sitting there and flipping through them and then passing them around to your friends so everyone could look? And if you were really
Yes.
lucky, some people would get everything printed double so you could even take one, even if it was your friend's batch of photos. Just
Oh
pick out
my
your
gosh.
favorites.
I forgot about doubles. I also forgot about like the matte finish versus like the slick finish.
Yes.
That
Back then, I think I liked the shiny finish, but now I'm a matte girl.
I think, yeah. So there was the choice. There was a little bit of an upgrade price to the matte, I think, if
Mhm.
I'm correct, if I remember. But it was almost like your college version of going through your camera from the night before, but you had to wait like a week or so. You could just go to 1 hour photo as well, though.
Yeah, that was a really cool that was a really cool development when that
It
when that
was.
came along.
The disposable camera is something that clearly both of us really look back on fondly, and we both miss this, I would say. There's a lot of positives, obviously, to the new technology, but I would say let's go back. Let's go back.
Yes, I agree.
It taught us to live in the
I could do
moment.
that.
I'm here for that.
Yeah, I could do that, honestly.
What about digital cameras?
Okay, guys, so these are kinda coming back, actually. I know my esthetician, when she was giving me a facial, said that she asked for one for Christmas, and she's young. So I'm like, "Dude, you have no idea. This is me. This is my generation." But it's a tiny screen, truly horrible flash, and uploading photos through a cursed USB cable that usually you had to, like, hold just at the right angle to allow it to actually connect properly.
I completely, until right now, forgot about the fact that we had to use a cord to upload the photos.
Yes.
And we would take like 400 of them. So it took so long to get them
Mhm.
uploaded.
Everything took long. All of these technologies took forever, but yes.
And half of the time, this would freeze your computer as well.
Mhm.
And you're just
Yes.
saving 400 photos to a folder on your computer. It's actually crazy. And this is during the time too where we would just upload straight 100 photos to Facebook and put it in
Yeah.
an album and call it something completely unhinged and inappropriate.
Yes, I actually had the same thought of, like, digital cameras were from such a fun in between time where social media existed, but it wasn't oversaturating our lives,
Like your
and
parents weren't even on it yet. So you could
yes,
just post
right.
whatever.
Oh, you didn't have to worry about employers, parents, nothing, and you document moments and then move on. And yeah, in college is especially when digital cameras were very prominent for us in our age, and we'd pass the camera around the next morning to see what kind of shit we got into the night before. I remember everyone clicking through them, laughing, and then you had to wait until your friend uploaded all the photos, not only to their computer, like we discussed, but then to the Facebook album. But there was such an excitement when you got a notification that you were tagged in a photo album on Facebook.
Yes. A millennial rite of passage is looking at the digital camera the night before
Yeah.
in the morning on the little screen. Everyone's surrounded together. I can picture this in my head perfectly
Mhm.
and just laughing uncontrollably because you're
Yes.
probably a little hungover too.
And do you remember when you turn on the older ones that, like, the front lens would, like, pop out when the battery came on? Or when the
Mhm.
power came on, it would, like, spin and pop out too and make
Yes.
this, like, sound. But, yeah. But basically, everyone had red eyes in all the photos. You would have to edit them before you could post them to Facebook and
And eventually Facebook got
greasy
the red eye
marks.
editor.
Yeah. Yes.
It really did. But again, I think with this, like, I don't miss this as much, although I do think it's better than what we have now on our phones.
I said the same thing.
I think more content doesn't mean better content. I think
Yes.
that it really encapsulated each event separately in a really nice way.
Yes. Yeah, so here's my hot take. I love iPhones for, like, landscape, nature, scene photos, like, for trips, sunsets, those types of shots, but I actually hate them for photos of people because everything is over sharpened, every pore, every imperfection, like, I don't need my phone keeping me humble as well as everything else in this world, whereas digital cameras were such a fun in between, like it was capturing the moment, but not trying to look like models, you know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
Like,
There was
they
a
were
lot.
so far from being professional that, like, we weren't even trying.
Exactly. There wasn't even a way to take a selfie that you could see yourself. It was like your arm
Yeah.
was in it because you had to get around the side so that you could hit the button.
Yeah, and the screens were so small that you couldn't, like, review and continue to take like you do with the iPhones and yeah. However, I still did say upgrade just because it's easier to have everything on one thing and your
Mhm.
iPhone. Carrying around those on your wrists were annoying. They had a little wrist thing, like, what would you call it?
A
Why
wrist
can I
like a wristband, a wrist
Yeah.
string, a string that goes around your wrist, and I
Yeah.
remember when you would hand off or you or anybody when anybody would give their digital camera to somebody to take a photo of their group, I've literally been told like 3 times, "Make sure you put that wristlet around your wrist," 'cause those were breakable, and your
Um,
screen would break on them.
I learned the hard way. Emily handed hers to me in college. We were actually at Mojo's. If anyone remembers Mojo's in Cedar Falls, we were on the dance floor. And after I took the photo, someone smacked it out of my hand and it hit the ground so that like I mentioned, the lens that pops out when you turn it on, it kind of bent so it would no longer go in and out and it just like the camera was no longer usable. And they were pricey for us back then. Like, that
Mhm.
was a shame.
Absolutely. Ugh, what a shame.
She still will bring it up to this day, actually. She was pretty PO'd, rightfully so.
I
But
also broke one of my best friend's cameras once, digital cameras in elementary school, and we didn't talk for a couple days. So I can
the
relate to you on that.
trauma of this.
So maybe it was an upgrade that we're not carrying these
Yes.
breakable items around all the time.
Yes, I agree. Hey,
Let's get
moving
into music and media. This is like
I'd love
our
to.
jam.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Let's talk a little bit about burning CDs. Lexie, you were the queen of this. Will you elaborate a little bit?
Yes. So how it really worked, guys, you had to buy a stack of blank CDs. Let's start there. Do you remember the big sleeves of blank CDs? You could get a short stack or a tall stack, but you know me. It was always the tall stack. And I go
Yes.
through them so fast. Then you'd spend hours and sometimes days downloading songs off of LimeWire or something of that sort, which we'll get into in a bit. We won't touch
Yeah.
that yet. That's something of its own.
This was a project.
Yes. And then the actual burning process took time as well. And let's not forget the external hard drive that wasn't built into the computer yet. So it was separate. You guys, can you believe it? Back then, we had a display monitor, and then the computer drive is what we called it, was separate, and it was this big rectangle.
Modem.
Yes. And it would just aggressively start shaking and making noises like it was preparing for takeoff when it was burning a CD. And it would make like the weirdest sounds, like beep, 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 like we're building a robot or something. The best part was when it was done, it just would like spit the CD out and be like, it's
Your
ready for your
CD is
consumption.
ready.
Yes, exactly. Here, I made this for you.
But that's only if it didn't crash, like once it hit like
Oh my God.
95%, because that's when all the problems happened. Is at
You're
the
right.
end, and your whole CD, you could see physically on around the CD where the CD was burned until on the
Mhm.
outside. And if it wasn't all the way full, it didn't work.
Yes, and you would watch the bar, and it would take forever. And kids these days will never understand the devastation of burning the perfect CD only to find out it glitched and just simply wouldn't play, or discovering a massive scratch. So it would
Mhm.
skip at the best parts of the songs. And
Mhm.
that is character building right there.
Yeah. They'll never understand either that like you put your songs in particular orders and you would curate this perfect playlist, but you couldn't change it or go back and forth like once it was done. Like you can't mix up the order of the
Mhm.
songs. So you knew exactly what number of song was on that CD. And like I can still remember you wanted the number one song to be like kind of like a kickoff to the vibe of the
Oh, yeah.
CD.
Pick one mattered the most,
Mhm.
honestly.
Thanks for confirming that.
Yeah.
I needed that.
Yeah, and I think it's safe to say we miss this so hard.
I don't miss the burning of it, but I miss the curation of a CD and listening to every song on it until you could not take the song anymore.
Mhm. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, I miss it to the point I mean, all of my time was spent even my time on AIM was spent downloading music and then messaging people asking, "What are you listening to right now?" I mean, I had a new CD every week, but I also remember gifting burned CDs. And I vividly remember awkwardly exchanging Christmas gifts with my 7th grade boyfriend, and he got me a teddy bear and a burned CD that contained, like, all G Unit songs,
That's romantic.
and I was thrilled. I was thrilled because that took time, that took effort, and that meant something, you know?
Yes, that's so funny. I just had a flashback to this kid in middle school. And now that I'm thinking about it, this kid in middle school walked up to me randomly and said, "Here, Maddie, here's a CD. It's called Jack Johnson, In Between Dreams. I thought you might like it." And I was like, "Okay, cool." Listen to it all the time. Thanks, Steve. And I think he probably had a crush on me. Why else would he have done that? I'm literally just coming up with this
He
right now.
handed you his heart.
Oh my God,
He
Steve.
handed you his heart, and I remember you being a big Jack Johnson fan, so it must have hit right.
Thanks, Steve. I never even looked at you as an option, but not because of you, just I just wasn't in a place at the time.
I love
I wasn't in a place to date at the time.
Yeah. You know, like 5th grade.
Like, yeah, 7th, but, a little early for me.
Do you remember what you would name some of your favorite burnt CDs? I remember I had, like, Do Not Touch or, like, Sad Emo Playlist or, like, things like that.
Yeah, I feel like we would base it around, like, There was always a reason why you burned a CD, and it was usually
Mhm.
because you had like 1 to 2 new songs that you were obsessed with. So we would usually base it on like the name of one of those songs, and then you'd perfectly decorate it. And we all had colored Sharpies, like an
Mhm.
unlimited amount of colored Sharpies at our house just to perfectly decorate these burnt CDs.
Yes.
Ah, what a lost
And I
art.
remember I even burnt our Malb songs, our band, to a CD before, and it was so cool listening to us sing through the speakers of my vehicle, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
You know, the first time, it's like hearing yourself for the first time on the radio. It was
Yeah,
really something.
we felt that way.
Okay, let's talk about LimeWire, Kazaa, and Napster. Did you have one or all three? Or
I had LimeWire and Napster. If I remember correctly, Napster came before LimeWire.
yes, and Kazaa
Yeah.
might have been in the middle, but
Yeah.
I think we had Kazaa first, and then LimeWire became the standard.
Okay. So I must have started early and evolved late.
Yeah, the standard piracy program.
Yes. So you download a song for like 4 hours or so, and chances were it was either the wrong song, a remix no one asked for, or a virus that destroyed your family computer.
And you guys, remember, you had no idea what you were going to get. You just
Yeah.
saw how many downloads it had. So you were hoping that because there was a high number, this was the right one. And then also, some of this was at the time of dial up. Most of this started after we had like the cable internet, but it still took hours for a song
Mhm.
to permanently download on your computer. And when you got like a fake song, it sucked. You remember
Yes.
like the sounds of
Yes.
some of them?
I swear there was a period of time too where every song I downloaded was Bill Clinton saying, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman."
Yes, that's the one I remember specifically is that. And
That one.
and it was
But
like,
I
gosh, it
did.
was the original, it was like the original Rickrolled, kind of.
Yes, it was. That's a very, like, even thing you just did there, but I did accidentally discover the Titanic fart parody through LimeWire, so I can't completely shit on it for giving us parodies sometimes, but, yeah, this was honestly my least favorite part about burning my CDs. It was illegal and it felt illegal. Like, it felt like I was breaking the law, you know?
Yes, and our parents always had something to say about it.
Mhm.
By the way, they had no idea what we were doing to their expensive computers. We were just downloading freely, ruining everything. I'm gonna be
Yes.
honest. Like, we would just destroy these computers.
Yep, downloading one song, getting 12 pop-ups. It was not an equal exchange.
The pop-ups, that's for later, but oh my goodness. Yeah,
Yeah.
you would pretty much get computer aids from getting that.
AIDS. Now we're getting to phones and communication.
Okay, so we grew up in the age of the first phone that really I saw my friends start to have was that Nokia phone that had the black and white screen with the snake on it.
Mhm.
Are we similar in this?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
I
That's all it
basically
had.
I basically wrote down calling, texting, snake. That's what those phones did.
So true. However, they were indestructible.
Mhm.
They were good phones, if I remember correctly. Could even eventually they came out with a little antenna you could pull out. Those ones were pretty cool.
Pretty neat.
And they only offered T9 texting.
Mhm.
T9 texting. Do you kids even know what that means?
There's no way they know about T9 texting, but basically you had to press 4 3 times to spell I. Okay? That's like and then try doing that for a whole ass sentence.
Yes.
It was excruciating.
Yes, which is why I don't think we're as afraid of the phone as the next generation. We had to keep it short and sweet. Number one, if
Mhm.
your text message was long, it would charge you for two. Number two, we were literally charged per text message in the early stages of this life.
It was so simple that I miss it. I miss T9. I miss the Nokia phone. And and weirdly, I miss it partly because it was such an acquired skill that I was weirdly good at. Like I prided myself in texting fast with T9. Not to mention how lazy the texting was. So kids these days, when they're abbreviating things, I'm like, "Dude, you have no idea." We were the absolute bare minimum with maximum efficiency generation. We had G 2G, BRB, ILY, TTYL. We're the generation of LOL, which they know that because we continue to say it in every sentence that we text.
We do.
But there's no punctuation, no capitalization. It was just so simple.
Lexie, what happened to TTYL?
From Tigger.
I don't know that one. Oh, TTYL, talk to you later. What
Yeah.
a brilliant acronym. Missed
Mhm.
that one. Good one.
I know, it's a good one.
It was our first time having an autocorrect situation too, and
Mhm.
I remember struggling with that with the T9.
Yeah.
Yeah. Short and sweet. I miss it. Again, I'm kind of an analog person in general, so anything that like is less communication at our fingertips, I'm in for.
She wants the opposite.
Call me. You can call. I love talking on the phone over texting so much. So I loved these days.
It depends on the person for me.
Anyways, okay, we're gonna throw it like way back here. We're gonna
Yeah.
throw it back to VHS tapes.
VHS tapes. Do you guys know what those are?
Yes, I think most people know what they are, but I don't know that a lot of people have a lot of experience with them and
Yeah. You
have
guys don't know the trauma.
yes, the trauma of rewind. Or wait, what is it?
Mhm.
What's the blockbuster saying? Be kind, rewind.
Rewind.
You could not
Yes.
just pause something, man. You had to like physically roll it back.
Yes, for sure. And so we talked about burning CDs, but do you remember taping on VHS tapes?
Yes, any cable television program that was on at the moment that you wanted to save or you weren't going to
Yeah.
be home for, you could program your VCR to tape it.
Yes, my mom would get so mad at me for taping over her shit, but we were so cheap. We had an entire cabinet full of VHS tapes, and most of them were taped tapes. So you know exactly what I mean, Maddie. It's like a white label on all of them, black permanent marker, and just like a crazy list of whatever had been recorded over that tape for years and years.
That is amazing. Do you still have the
I think my parents don't get rid of anything. I bet they have those tapes somewhere. I should look through them. But with that, even when I was watching movies then, they were recorded off of live TV. So we still had to fast forward through the commercials. And honestly, I have to say this is an upgrade though, because there's nothing worse than putting in a TV, getting comfy, pressing play, and then realize it hasn't been rewound yet.
You know what though? I'm going to say, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. I miss it because you were so present in what you were watching. And we can talk about this with, the next thing of cable
Yeah.
television as well. You had to be present with what you're watching. And I currently go into so much decision fatigue when it comes to choosing what we're watching now. So I do miss that aspect a lot.
That is true.
Like you were thrilled to go to Blockbuster, pick two movies out. You were watching those movies back to back, no matter what, maybe multiple times, even if halfway through you're like, this is garbage. You would choose that you loved that movie, even if it was the biggest steaming pile you've ever seen, because it was your movie that you had for that weekend.
Yeah, yeah, and I had Blockbuster written down as a core memory as well, like, nothing better than getting approval for a slumber party on Friday, picking up your girls, going to Blockbuster, figuring out what the night looked like with the movies. It was amazing.
Yep. VHS, and then to DVD, and
Yeah.
then to Blu-ray, whatever the fuck the difference of that was. Does anybody know?
And now what? Just
Streaming.
Netflix? Netflix is
Streaming.
taking over the world, so
Streaming, yeah, everything's at our fingertips.
yeah.
Speaking of that, cable television, that was whatever was on, guys. Whatever was
Mhm.
on, and you had to watch all of the commercials.
Yes.
And we didn't even mind it. In fact, we used it as a moment to maybe pop some popcorn, take a break, but you would run back into the room when you heard that the television program you were trying to watch was back on.
Mhm. I know. I that's the only thing I said I miss it. However, I could see myself getting sick of it real quick again, but I miss how like communal it was. Everyone gathering around to watch the same show at the same time. Like you knew all of your friends were watching it at the same time in their households as well.
Yeah,
There's something special.
like at 6, 7 Central,
Yeah, exactly.
the
Yep, and
new
you couldn't pause it. You had to just sit
no.
there, you were there, you were present, like you said about the VHS situation. This is you were truly present.
And you appreciated it because, again, like, it was the only option. So
Yeah, I know, you couldn't binge it. You had to show up, and honestly, it was probably easier to not be a piece of shit when you didn't have unlimited content at your fingertips 24/7.
yeah,
But I
absolutely.
do need to bring this up then, because this came to my mind when I was thinking about cable.
What?
Then TiVo came along and quickly changed everything. Do you remember TiVo?
I didn't have it, but I am aware of what it is.
Again, I think we had some off-brand version of it that just, like, didn't work, but suddenly you could pause live TV, you could record shows without tapes, you could skip commercials. It was revolutionary at the time.
That would be something that I would say I miss that point of things when I could
Mhm.
still record something without the whole VHS system.
Yeah. Yeah,
But again, I love my streaming items as well. So
I
when I say
know.
this, it's like, but the decision fatigue, it wasn't as bad back then.
Yeah,
So I keep repeating myself, but it's so
but it's
true.
all true. It's all true. I mean, I think all of these are things that we miss because of the period of time we were at when we had them, but if we truly had to go back in time, it would be an adjustment for us.
No, yeah, we couldn't know what we know now.
Yeah,
But I do believe that we are more patient and we are able to withstand more because we grew up with these things and we have a little bit of a longer attention span than probably generations that are moving forward. And it's
for
not their
sure.
fault. It's the product of the time.
Yes. Speaking of, do you guys know that we used to only have one computer per house if you were lucky?
A big, heavy block of a computer that
Yes.
sat in one space at all times.
Yep. You were anchored to it.
You each had your own little profile, like your person in your family had its own name. But essentially it was shared access. So you could see anybody's browser history, whatever, whoever downloaded whatever was on LimeWire, everybody could
Mhm.
see if you got a virus on the computer or your little brother did,
No
then
privacy ever.
yes. Yep. And the internet was really slow. I do remember the dial up times too, where literally, again, I'm sure everybody knows about this. You would block the phone line when you
Mhm.
went on the internet. And I remember the fights and the chaos this caused at our
I
household.
literally said some of the biggest fights I've ever gotten into with my siblings were over the computer, like screaming, "You can have it after dinner!" Like all of the nostalgic fights you can think of from that time period. And honestly, those are still some of the most talked about fights in our family to this day. Lindsay punched a hole in the wall once because I wouldn't give her access to the computer.
We had similar fights, man. Like it's
Yeah,
universal.
and I was always widely paranoid about, like, what I was doing. I was so ready to minimize any window if that door opened to the computer room. We had a computer room, which you were so lucky. Yours was, like, open to the living space, so you had to watch out for people walking up behind you too.
Yeah, I don't think I was ever doing anything necessarily bad, but like I do remember every song my brothers would download or play because it would just be in the living area. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I also remember the time when, we used floppy disks and we had CD-ROM games that we played. This is even before like the internet was super prevalent. I remember
Mhm.
checking out CD-ROM games from the library and there were
Yeah.
a lot of really, really cool ones. I specifically remember one called Math Blaster that I really liked.
You fucking would.
But
I'm,
then you
like,
had the cool
ready to
ones.
talk about Sims and Roller Coaster Tycoon. I had a Barbie detective game that I really fucked with at the time.
Oh,
They were
yeah.
I I was just thinking when I was reflecting on those games, I was like, I was so easily impressed back then, and now it's kinda sad that I just feel like nothing will impress me like those games did back in that time.
Agreed. Even like I remember when the internet was even very new, when the television programs would finally have like a website like Zoog Disney. Do you remember when Disney was Zoog Disney and it came out with an online platform that you could kind of interact about the shows and like have chat
Mhm.
rooms and things like that?
Yeah, I do.
Amazing.
Yeah, and that's what I remember Lizzie McGuire specifically having something on Disney that, like, I was like, "Whoa, they do this?"
Yes,
It was
like log
mind-blowing.
online. You can talk with Lizzie and the gang. And then it would have like a
Yeah.
click, 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 like typing sound that you thought was so 21st century. So
Yes.
cool.
I love it.
Amazing.
Amazing.
I'm trying to think of what else is important to bring up and what we can skip.
I mean, I remember when we had computer labs at schools too. However, I remember the Oregon Trail, honestly, was a staple. We all know that, right?
Yes. Did you also have the version that was a literal floppy, big square disk? Like those are
Yes.
old computers, like 80s.
Yes. I remember how satisfying it was to shove them in the hard drive, the computer drive, and then pop the button to pop them back out.
Yes, my daycare had something like that, and we would play Oregon Trail, and oh my gosh, the simplicity of it, I would kill to see what that actually looked like
I
now
know.
in my brain at this point of life.
Seriously, me and my ox.
And, like, honestly, like, playing it and getting actually upset that I died of dysentery or something along those lines or in a river, starvation.
Yeah. I remember
Mm.
my last straw being when my ox died. They like drowned or something because the river overflowed, and still tried walking through it, and I fucked up. I fucked up big time. They
Rad.
didn't deserve that.
You didn't bring the right supplies with you. That was the most fun part of the Oregon Trail was picking out the supplies in the beginning that would last you throughout your
Yeah.
journey. I just kinda remembered that right
Throughout
now.
your journey. Oregon Trail aside, one of my most prominent memories was typing class in the computer lab. Do you remember typing class?
Yes, do you remember Alpha Smarts? Like,
Yes,
they allowed you to teach you how to type prior to actually, like, even getting on a computer.
crazy. And then
Who
when we
here
were on
used Alpha Smarts? Those are crazy.
that is that is kinda weird, but they would literally put, like, pieces of paper over our hands so we couldn't look down at it, and it just made me I had so much anxiety with those games, but honestly I'm
The
a
Mavis
pretty good
Bacon?
typer, so I'm not giving them all the credit, though. I think most of my typing skills came from AIM and chat rooms,
True,
but
but you learn the fundamentals from Mavis Bacon and the computer programs at the library at your school.
yeah, yeah, so, I mean, I guess I'll credit them to an extent.
Okay, I just had a random flashback to the printer situation back then.
Oh my
The
gosh.
printing situation in the late 90s, early 2000s, you were lucky if you didn't have something that printed out looking like there was like a white line through
Mhm.
everything. It looked like you printed it on a
Terrible.
prehistoric machine.
Yeah. I remember when they first, like, created a wireless hookup to print things too, and I was like, this is the future." Like
Yes, like a Bluetooth connection.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yes.
Crazy. I will say that, I could not go back to those computer days of the old computers. We have it
Mm-mm.
really good.
We do. I guess we got it pretty good now, guys.
I mean, imagine like in the early days of the internet, Google, you could use Google or you could use a website that we often used first called askjeeves.com, and you would have this like primitive list of websites. Say I wanted to write a research paper on walruses. There was like a list of 5 different websites that someone made, God knows who, about facts about walruses. And then you could use that to write a research paper.
It was a lot of it was a lot of, like, hoping for the best with that.
Yes, you would cite your source, just copy that website right in, and that was your source, like whoever made this. So,
It was not Google, you guys. I don't think I used Ask Jeeves very often, but I remember using Yahoo's search function quite a bit.
Yahoo. Oh, and now when I see Yahoo,
Yahoo!
that was such a great, that was such a great commercial.
Yeah,
So yeah,
truly.
don't miss those early search engines either.
Mm-mm.
However, what I do miss about it is that like the correct websites would pop up organically and not based on who is paying the most money for
True.
search engine optimization.
Yes. True.
So it was more of yeah, it was more of a socialistic approach.
It wasn't cheating.
You couldn't pay your way into the top, honey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fair. Even Stevens.
Okay, so think about this. Like when we didn't have the internet,
Mm-hmm.
think of the things that we had to do, like analog, like calling a movie theater for a showtime.
Yes. If you never had to do this, you guys, you'd call a phone number and you'd have to sit through basically a robot telling you every single movie and every single time, one by one.
Yes, it didn't tell you anything about the movies. It solely told you the name and the times at your local cinema.
Yes.
And you would make your decision based on that.
This is an upgrade completely because I love being able to just Google it on my phone instantly, no patience required. I remember it being so frustrating if you missed the showtime you were listening for, or if someone talked to you while the robot was listing movies, because then you had to sit through the entire thing all over again, no skipping, no rewinding. It was terrible.
I remember specifically ours was, "Thank you for calling Dubuque's Carmike Cinema," or something like
God.
that.
That was a throwback. Thank you for doing such a good job.
And you would have to listen. But it was a plus at the time though, because we were a little nervous to like talk on the phone to actual
Yes.
people. So it was like brilliant automation of the time.
Could you imagine if it was someone's job just to answer the phone to answer questions about movie times though?
I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea.
I don't know. I'd much rather have what we have today, especially with even choosing your seat beforehand. It's all laid out for you. It's
Yeah.
for a girl with anxiety, you don't have to show up extra early to get a good spot.
I've seen people do this a lot. They're ordering their food ahead of time and it's set down on their seat before they get there.
I only go to Phoenix, which they ain't doing that. I haven't been to AMC in so long. They might as like a chain, but Phoenix is pretty low key, but we can drink booze, so that's nice when it's not January.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
Way to rub it in.
I know.
Okay, and one more analog thing that we had to do. Print our boarding passes for flights. We had to print everything. Movie tickets, boarding passes, everything was printed.
Everything was printed.
Which feels crazy now.
It does. You still can print your boarding pass.
Yes, but you don't have to.
No, you don't have to. So I don't miss waiting in line to print my boarding pass, but I do miss having a physical piece of paper, kind of. I know, bad for the environment, but I just hate standing in line with my phone out, my boarding pass pulled up, and my screen just keeps going to sleep. So you're just like flipping it awake over and over again, refreshing until you're finally at the front of the line. And then you scan it and you're going to the plane and you keep double checking what fucking seat you have.
Yeah,
because
and
I have anxiety and I don't want to sit in the
pocket.
wrong seat. Have you ever sat in the wrong seat and had someone be like, "Hey, that's my seat," and you had to get up and move?
No.
Me either, and I don't want it to I want it to stay that way. I've witnessed other people do it, and every time I'm like, "Idiot."
I've witnessed it a lot as well.
So let me hold this piece of paper and just have it there, and it's everything I need. And
You
then
can print it at the kiosk.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. If you didn't have to wait in line, most of the airports I go to don't have just like self-service all the time. But yeah,
So funny.
I do miss it.
That's a miss.
That's a miss.
Okay, speaking of continuing on the internet road, is this a good episode? I don't even know what's happening.
Are you guys liking it?
Are we bringing back memories or is this just
Are you
boring?
like, guys, you gotta give this nostalgic shit up?
Your memories are not right.
Oh, we've touched on AIM, but specifically away messages, those were the days.
Yes, those were passive aggressiveness at its finest. If you had something to say to somebody that you didn't have the guts to say, which was everyone at that time because we were in high school and middle school, this was the way to communicate through lyrics.
Yes. Why did I want everyone to think I was depressed all the time? That's my biggest question. But I did. I'd be like, going to the mall with my friends, also cut my wrist and black my eyes.
Or if like one of your really good friends had like an ominous lyric or something, you're like, oh my gosh, did I do something? Is
Yeah,
this
you're
about
like, that's
me?
about me.
Mhm.
And then it's time to fire back.
Yeah. Can you imagine though, like Honestly, this is much better. I miss this over current social media. Can you imagine having Snapchat right now in middle school and in high school? It would be horrible,
It would be. Do you
brutal.
do you remember the excitement, though, when you would come back to your away message and you would actually have messages waiting for you?
Every once in a while.
Yes. Logging back on to see if someone noticed. Did they read it? Did they comment?
Did
Did
they
they
ask what was
care?
wrong?
Did they care? That was the whole point. That was the beauty of it.
And then, okay, what did they call it when you could click on your name and like was it a profile or
Buddy
something?
profile
A buddy profile.
and buddy icons.
Oh, I don't remember. I'm trying to think of what this looked like.
The buddy icons were just little squares in the lower corner, and you would pick it out, and it would show up on every chat.
Could we
And
upload any photo we wanted, or was there like slim
no, you had to
pickings?
choose from some, but it was like a crazy world out there. They're usually stick figures. Oh, hold on. Type in like early 2000s buddy icons.
Okay, I'm seeing like a very
I
old version
remember
of
this
this.
one that's a girl jumping up and down, and it says boobies.
Oh my god.
They were inappropriate too.
Are they like all gray kind of?
Yeah. You don't remember buddy icons?
Not really,
Oh
for
my
some
god.
reason. Well,
Yeah.
I don't remember them looking like this, but I do remember like instead of just the AOL man, you could have like that little background thing.
Yeah, and you could change your font colors, um, you could really personalize. But yeah, I remember for a while, the big thing to do is give shout outs to all your friends in your buddy profile. So everyone would have like an inside joke listed.
I completely forgot about that, and it was essentially the first top 8. Like, you would have your
I was
best
just gonna
friends
say that
first,
you
and they would kinda go
ranked.
down, and as soon as, like, you became friends with someone, they might be lucky enough.
Love that. And then MySpace, the very first, like, form of social media in a sense.
It was, other than AIM. It was
Yeah, and you
the fir
coded your identity with MySpace, so it was hard work, but we did it.
yes, I can now code a couple codes. I remember how to put an image, I remember how to put a link, I remember how to do a background, even to this day. So, call me a coder.
Yes, I'll never forget things like "and hearts"
Mm,
and
classic.
feeling like an actual genius for knowing enough HTML to remove the credit from whoever made my wallpaper. So
Yes.
I was like, "No, you don't get a free promo on my MySpace. This is my page." And I'd go in and remove it, and I felt so cool about it. But yeah, you accidentally learned HTML and you customized everything. And it just felt personal because it was that same 2000s, like, mismatched, like, everything was so flashy, it wasn't so aesthetically pleasing, and I miss that.
Same. I would go back to those situations. Well, I feel like MySpace was made to almost like pit people against each other with the top 8 situation. So maybe that was not the best example, but I do miss less social media being involved.
Yeah, I think the MySpace Top 8 was a crazy concept, but I do think MySpace was, like, the first chance we really truly got to brand ourselves. We created, like, a brand for ourselves. Our
Hmm.
profile picture, our song, our background, the our crew even. I think that was, like, the point of it, and it was just all so intentional.
And everyone had their first friend, Tom, in his white tee on his
Yeah,
computer.
remember when he always took that first place in your top 8, and for the longest time, it was a big deal when he gave that up.
Hmm. Old Tom.
Oh, Tom,
Just a giver.
where'd he go? Where is he now?
Tom,
Where's
where
he
you
at?
at?
Where you at, brah?
So, we're going to end this.
Yeah, well, we do wanna hear which piece of old tech do you actually want back, guys? You listen to this whole thing, now tell us.
Yes. Tell us which millennial technology was your favorite and that you missed the most. It didn't just function differently, it taught us how to wait, how to troubleshoot, how to problem solve, how to code HTML, and how to emotionally recover whenever something didn't work or it crashed.
And if this unlocked a memory, sparked a laugh, or made something click for you, please send it to another millennial who remembers the dial up sound without needing to hear it as well.
Thanks for tuning in. Follow for new episodes every Friday on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Wait You're Mad.
Bye.
Bye.